Hi guys, Etsu here, and today I want to talk about Random Battlegrounds. This is a game mode I absolutely adore. I play it every single day, and to be honest, this is the main reason why I still play WoW. So yeah, this is super important to me, and yeah, this tier list here includes like the current state of each spec in my opinion. I'm also including the latest tuning here. So let us just start. I'm starting with Frost DK. I think Frost DK is decent for Random Battlegrounds, and the main reason here is they still have like the stun immunity, they still have fear immunity, and they can also like avoid CC with AMS. So this is super good. On top, as a melee, they can't even be slowed below 70%. So this is a big W. But still, the main issue, in my opinion, is its burst isn't that bursty, so it needs quite some time to deal its damage. And yeah, you can still like getting kited easily, sadly, even with 2 grips. So yeah, and the melee time is just required for the spec, so it's not too great in 1-1 scenarios, and in teamfights it's decent, but yeah, overall I think it's in the middle of a pack. Not too bad and not too good. Unholy, on the other hand, the rework just did wonders for the spec, and man, it's super fun to play. Way easier as well, and I mean, you have all the benefits Frost DK has, but you don't have the range issue. So this is so much stronger. You could argue it's like in the S tier. I'm sure, like, I mean, the current tuning is quite good. So the damage is fair, like even in the arena it's pretty good. For Battlegrounds, since they nerfed like the whole AoE damage now, like let us just take a quick look here. So they nerfed like our whole dot damage, sadly. Especially like Pestilence, because I really love like the Sun Lane build, which was already like way weaker compared to the pet build, for PvP at least. And now it's even like the gap is even bigger. So I am not sure. These are the nerfs, but we also got PvP. Oops, well, let me just scroll down here. I think this is better. We also got PvP changes, and Unholy got a, where was it? Whoops. Wait a second. Oh, here, sorry. Here. By the way, Frost got like damage buffs. I think the damage for Frost is super decent right now. It's very good. But again, like mobility just holds its back. And Unholy got 10% overall damage buff, so in PvP, to compensate like the disease buffs, but it buffs all the pets again. So I think the pet build will be super strong. In Battlegrounds, you have huge on-demand burst, which Frost has not. And yeah, I would say, like, to be honest, I mean, it is S tier. You can still like deal like 80% of your damage from ranged. So man, this spec is just looking so good going into midnight. Moving on with Havoc. Havoc like was lacking damage all the time, but it's like defensively this spec is kind of unkillable. In a 1-1 scenario, they are so durable. They have so much leech, and they got they just got, let me just go back on top here again. They got a 5% damage buff, so which also means like the healing is stronger as well. So the damage isn't too great, but the sustain for solo PvP is so strong. Man, this spec is super good for a melee spec. I think, honestly, not gonna lie, I will just put it here on S tier right now. But I think they will adjust and like they will adjust the healing, the self-healing for the spec, and then maybe it's getting lower. But as it is, in my opinion, it's super strong. And man, tough spec. Feral, man, Feral, like, I don't know, like a lot of people think Feral like has bad damage. I don't know why, because man, if you saw my burst video, Feral had very good damage already. Like if I duel a Feral as a monk, for example, I just end up with 30% of my HP left just out of the opener, in the stun opener. So in my opinion, like Feral was super strong, but now they even buffed Feral further. So they got like 3% damage flat buff on top of and also like a auto attack damage buff, which is kind of minor, okay, but we also got PvP tuning for Feral as well, and they buffed Feral for another 6% damage overall. Like, this is massive, man. I think Feral is in a super strong spot. This is a spec you really need to look out for, and in Battlegrounds, like, you can like AoE bleed in team fights. You are super good, and also like 1-on-1 you are so tanky. Your sustain is super high. Like overall a super well-rounded melee. It has the mobility, it has stealth, like it can 1-on-1 very strongly. It has good AoE damage now. Honestly, like, this is super strong. Like, those 3 specs, in my opinion, are really super strong melees for Battlegrounds. Moving on with Survival Hunter. Survival has, like, the damage right now is crazy OP. Like, but just 1 or 2 buttons. Like, your opener is super strong, and outside of your like go every minute, you don't deal that threatening damage. But Survival just got nerfed. Not here. Nope. But here. That is here. Survival, like, all damage reduced by 4%, and like Boomstick got on top of this, got nerfed again. So I think in PvE it's not that important, but in PvP it's very much noticeable. I don't know, like, your survivability in teamfights, for example, is very decent, and this is due to 20-second cooldown for Feign Death, so it makes you super tanky. But in 1-on-1 you are decent because you have the high damage right now still, even after the nerfs, in my opinion. But your sustain feels super weak. I mean, it's fun in Battlegrounds, but your impact in Battlegrounds isn't too high. So you can like deal good damage against the Flag Carrier, for example. You have the stealth ability too. It's a fun spec. I really enjoy playing it, but your impact on a Battleground isn't too great. So but still very strong. Like, the damage is carrying the spec right now. I would love for Survival Hunter to get like a new PvP talent, which maybe reduces the cooldown of all traps by 50% or something like this. It needs more tools, or yeah, I don't know, maybe even a little bit more healing, more self-healing. Don't know. Like, it feels good, but only very dependent on damage. You could say the same thing for Windwalker Monk. Right now it's super strong in the arena because it has like this very high explosive damage. But they nerfed like Monk so hard. Look at this, like, where was it? Here. They decreased all damage by 10%, which is absolutely crazy because the performance in PvE is not too good. And on top, like, they reduced Rising Sun Kick damage. To be fair, like, Rising Sun Kick damage is super high right now. It's a good thing, but they didn't nerf it in PvP, so this is still like super hard hitting in PvP. But they nerfed like Glory with Dawn, which was a very important component for your quick burst window. They buffed Spinning Crane Creek for PvE, but I still think it's not enough for PvE. They need, like, I don't know, either they buff it more, but then it's too strong for single target again. They need to like change the way Windwalker Monk deals AoE damage. So I hope they change this one to uncapped AoE and just nerf its damage again, but we will see. But the big thing here is they buffed Fist of Fury by 40%, so they really like the biggest spender to deal the biggest damage. I can understand this one. And they also buffed it here for Shadow Pandas again for another 40%. Like, this buff here combined with this one is super significant. But again, in Battlegrounds, since, like, just imagine yourself in a team fight, you will get randomly CC'd all day long, and Fist of Fury like takes a few seconds to cast, and you will getting interrupt all day. So your impact in a Battleground isn't too great. You have good mobility and very fun mobility, but It's hard to place Windwalker Monk. I would say like it's in the middle. It's definitely above Frost DK in my opinion, but losing its single target damage, like you lose 30% damage on your Resin Sun King right now. No, sorry, only in PvE. You lose just 10% flat damage, but the AoE they increased, like it doesn't really matter because you will get interrupted, as I said. I don't think it's still good in Battlegrounds. Like the biggest issue for Windwalker Monk is its survivability. It's super squishy. You could say like Feral, for example, is squishy too in longer team fights, but you don't have like longer team fights in Random Battlegrounds. In Rage Battlegrounds it's very different, but in Random Battlegrounds it's very different. Moving on with Ret, and Ret is decent right now. Like they got like the past couple of weeks they got some damage tuning here and there. Here again for your hammer again, or Divine Storm, a little bit more cleave or AoE damage. So I mean the toolkit is super strong. It always has been. You still have your freedom for Random Battlegrounds, so you can support pretty good. You have your immunities, and you also have range damage, which makes it super strong in Battlegrounds. And yeah, this is a issue they don't have. For example, our Frost DK has, but Ret doesn't have. So this is a big W for Ret, and the damage is quite decent, but not that strong. Like not too OP right now. It's just good. And I think for Random Battlegrounds, this is a very strong spec to look out for. Moving on with Rogues, and Assassination Rogue got like massive buffs. So here we have a 5% dot damage buff. This is more AoE, not too much, but on the PvP side, where was it? Here. 12% damage increase for Assassination Rogue is sick. This is massive. So in teamfights, I think like Assassination always has been strong due to the AoE silences, which was so annoying and will be annoying again. And I can see the spec like rising up now after those buffs. So honestly, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like on the end of A+ tier or A tier, to be honest. After the buffs, it's super strong. It will be. I'm pretty sure about it. Outlaw Rogue. This is like, I really enjoy this one. I played it a bunch on the beta, and I really enjoy it. But your impact in Battlegrounds, I don't know. I mean, you are a very decent 1-1. You're kind of tanky, and you can like handle a lot of specs, to be honest. But in teamfights, you end up like with the same issue Frost DK has maybe. You have good mobility tools, but you can be slowed so hard and kited. I don't know. It's not too good for Battlegrounds. I would say it's even worse than Frost DK, because Frost DK still has decent self-healing and yeah, has grip. It has more impact than a Outlaw Rogue. But I love the spec. It's so fun to play. Sub Rogue, even after the nerfs, they are still super strong in my opinion. The 8% damage nerfs aren't too much, or did not too much in my opinion. The burst is still super high. On the new DR just fits the spec so well. So the more you will play it, the more you will enjoy it. So I think overall it's a very good spec. It's super fun in Random Battlegrounds, and you will have a great time playing it. So you could argue it's S tier for sure, but you could also argue it's like on top of A+, because you don't have much impact in team fights, but you can just carry over objectives if you want to, and in 1-1 it's still super strong. Honestly, it's just on top of the A+ tier. It's in between S tier and A+ tier in my opinion. It's still like kind of squishy, sure, but I mean Rogue always has been, except for Outlaw Rogue now. It feels just way tankier, and it is way tankier. Moving on with Enhancement Shaman. An Enhancement, this is a spec I played a lot on the beta, and they got very significant buffs. Let me show you the buffs first. Enhancement Shaman got a overall 5% damage buff, which is awesome. A little bit of nerfs for especially Stormkeeper. A little bit of a totem nerf, which is very minor in my opinion. Not too big of a deal because we got overall 5% damage buff. But the biggest thing here is where was it? Oh, I think I went too far, right? Oh, here. So Shaman in general, we got so much more survivability, and this is a massive deal in my opinion. So we got 5% more max health, which is nice. We got like 2% more magic damage reduction, which is very welcome. But this one here is a big one, for me at least. So now, when you drop below 30% health, you are getting healed by 40%. So this is sick. They buffed it by 100%, so you're getting healed every 45 seconds for 40% of your max health. And this makes you super tanky. Even tankier than you were before. I mean, you could argue you were kind of squishy, especially like in M+ scenarios, I know. But honestly, like, I really look forward to those changes. So you are way tankier, and this is why you will have more fun, for sure. The damage got a little bit buffed, so I would say, honestly, this is a good spec. Sure, you could say you still have like the getting kited issue sometimes in teamfights especially, but now you're way tankier in teamfights, so honestly, like, this spec feels great. It feels not too bad. I would even say it's higher. It's just next to Red, honestly. I really think it's a good spec, but it's like kind of hard to play. Like, it's harder to play compared to the other specs here. It's more difficult, but it also is super rewarding. So Enhancement Shaman, you will have a good time. Warrior for Random Battlegrounds, you are not too bad. I mean, in terms of damage, look at this. So I was so shocked. Like, when I was reading this one here, I was like, no way nerf Warrior again, right? Like, I was like, no way. They are just like the worst DPS spec in terms of PvP, and I was like so shocked. But moving down here on the bottom, we see like a flat 15% damage buff for Arms Warrior, which is awesome. Like, this nerf here, I understand, like, Slam did a lot of damage, but maybe this is too much for nerf. I would say, like, I don't know, 40% or 30% would have been enough. This is maybe a little bit too much, but overall, like, the big 50% damage buff is massive. This is very needed, and this is super strong. So I would say Arms Warrior isn't too bad. Like, in teamfights, you will, like, you have the sustain. You don't die that easily, like, compared to others in long-term fights. And the damage you will deal now with the 15% damage buff isn't too bad, but still, like, you still have the same issue Frosty Case, because Frosty Case damage isn't too bad right now as well. Like, it's on the same boat, I would say, but the mobility is a little bit better for Battlegrounds compared, like, to Frosty Case, but still not enough. You are getting kited so easily. And like, one pushback and one, like, blink away and you can't do anything. So it's, yeah, not too great for Battlegrounds. And Fury, and also, like, the burst Warrior has right now, yeah, it's just a more consistent damage burst. So you don't have that high on-demand damage burst anymore. It feels like more consistent. Fury feels strong. Like, it's even tankier than Arms. But in the end, you have the same issue. You are getting kited in the end, like, especially with all the new slows. So all the new snares. For example, the new Hunter snare 80%. Like, even Enhancement Shaman can, like, AOE 60% snare, and this is sick. Like, this is also one of the reasons why the spec is super strong in Battlegrounds. I think you have a 40-yard ranged 60% snare, and Fury. Yeah, I mean, the toolkit is nice. It survives better than other DPS in teamfights and so on. In 1-1, it's you will have a tough time if people like are able to kite you. So, but overall, I would say like every spec is kind of like close, not too far away of each other. Like there are no like B or C tiers in my opinion. Like overall, you can play everything you want, and you should always. And yeah, I think this is the current state of each spec, of each Meele spec. So just let me know what you think in the comments, and thanks for tuning in again. So have a great day and see you next time. Bye bye!